Deja vu isn't a past life memory. It's your brain glitching. And the reason why will blow your mind. It's not something that you've forgotten and then remembered. Some even claim that it's your dreams coming to life in front of you, a way to glimpse into the future. But what if I was to tell you that all of that is complete lies? New studies have mapped the brain during deja vu, and what they found is stranger and more fascinating than any theory we'd come up with before. Your brain argues with itself. So let's start with the memory itself. Did it actually happen, or did it not? Your brain is the best storage device on the planet. It can hold roughly about 2.5 petabytes of information. That's roughly 3 million hours of TV or 4.7 billion books. So let's think of the brain as the world's biggest library. When deja vu occurs, it lights up 3 areas of the brain, that being the hippocampus, the insula, and the frontal regions. And they all play a different role in giving you this feeling that you've seen something before, you just don't know when or where. And the hippocampus is kind of like its own personal librarian. It categorizes all of the new books or memories that come in to the library and stores them away neatly in specific sections on the bookshelf in order to keep things organized. But the thing is, it's not always perfect at its job. Sometimes what happens is the librarian will label a brand new book, one that you've never seen before or read before, as a book that is already in the library. A simple mistake to make, but one that has quite disastrous consequences. So when it goes to place this book in the bookshelf next to the book that supposedly is already there, it's obviously nowhere to be found. And this librarian gets a little bit concerned with what he sees. In order to solve this problem though, he calls up his supervisor to help. The insula is known for handling the emotions in the brain. It tells the brain exactly what is important and what isn't important, depending on the emotional weight it carries. So what does this have to do with deja vu? It walks over to the bookshelf where this book should be, and it is also completely baffled. It could swear that this book existed. He's even read it himself. So, in his great wisdom, it slaps a big, glaring, important sticker on the book, and it decides to start a full-blown investigation. But it can't do it itself. So it decides to get head office involved. The frontal cortex is the rational thinker of the brain. He's the problem solver that does all of the maths and stuff like that. So he goes into the archives. He deep dives through the entire collection. He compares the records and he comes to the conclusion that this doesn't make any sense. We all know that this book existed, or at least we think it does. But no book in the entire collection matches this book exactly word for word. That being said, I can't prove exactly that you're wrong. And now the entire library is in complete shambles. Nobody knows what to do. But that being said, head office needs to make a decision. So, in the infinite wisdom that is your brain, it decides to shove it in a drawer where all of the mysteries go. The deja vu section. It's time for a few contradictions you're probably thinking about. Because yes, this does explain the process, but it doesn't explain the frequency. For instance, why does it happen more when you're tired or you're stressed? And well, it has to do with energy, obviously. The less energy you have, the more mistakes the librarian tends to make. It mislabels more books and more of this instance happens. It's the same as anything that happens in the brain when you're tired. You make poorer choices, basic tasks become harder. In general, everything just works less effectively. Okay, but why do some instances of deja vu feel more potent than others? This could be either the supervisor's decision or head office's decision. If the frontal cortex is distracted, i.e. your brain is thinking about other things, or in general, it's just wandering, then it can't rationalize this coincidence very well at all. It's like if your boss is trying to hold a meeting with the shareholders and he's also trying to take a call from his wife at the same time. If the brain's reason for something isn't very strong, then it immediately becomes more important because it can't explain it. Alternatively, if the supervisor or the insula is already firing quite well, i.e. you're in a heightened emotional state, whether you think so or not, that emotion carries over to the label that you stick on the book. The emotion surrounding the mystery will feel stronger because, well, your brain is already being emotional. But what if there's more to the story? What if this is a complete oversimplification of the brain's process? Well, to be fair, you could be right. Obviously, we don't know exactly how the brain works. All we can do is observe what happens and then make a judgment based off we see. Even if this is only 99% accurate, not 100%, it's still fun to learn, and I hope you share this sentiment. Learning should be fun, and if it's not fun, then in my opinion, you're going about it the wrong way. But that isn't exactly your fault, it's probably the brainwashing that the school system has done, but that's a whole story for another time. So deja vu isn't mystical at all. It's just your brain having an admin error. And that's the joy of science. What once seemed supernatural is the brain revealing its inner wiring. Finding the answer is pretty much always fun. And if that interested you, you should watch this video on why punching in your dream feels so slow. And of course, subscribe to my newsletter where I go into a bit more detail on all this stuff. Otherwise, these videos would be an hour long. There is a link to my website down below. Thank you.